Hey my beautiful Gemini peeps, what's going on everybody? It's Am from CancerMoonsTarot. I'm coming at you guys with your mid-February 2022 tarot reading. As always, readings here are general, so if they resonate, that's awesome. And if not, it's not your message. And if you want to check out my official social medias, you're more than welcome to. That's going to be linked down in the description below. But before we start today's video, guys, I have two quick announcements. First things first, in honor of Mercury being in retrograde, I do have here two products I think you guys would be interested in. We have here the Mercury Survival Candle and the Moving Forward Soap. Both of these products are crystal healing products, and the intention behind them is to make your Mercury retrograde a hell of a lot easier. And also, if you guys notice that the setup in my background is completely different, I did recently move into my first apartment, so with that being said, sorry if there's a bit of an echo. I still have to fill up the room with a lot more furniture, but hopefully the sound is good on your end, and hopefully you guys like it so far. I have a lot more ideas for this background, but without further ado, let's get on into it, alright? So Gemini, starting out with the current energies for you guys coming into mid-February. What current energies do we have here for Gemini? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. We have the Nine of Swords jump out immediately. Moving forward from that, we got here the Knight of Cups, and lastly, we got here the Emperor. So, looking at your current energy so far for mid-February, Nine of Swords, Knight of Cups, and the Emperor. You could be dealing with an Aries specifically, considering that the Emperor card came out, but let's go ahead and have a look at these energies for you. So, Nine of Swords to the Knight of Cups. That's a big leap. That's a shift in a different direction, because Nine of Swords is typically that energy of feeling very trapped, especially when we're talking about feeling trapped inside your mind, feeling like you're overthinking. It's about kind of feeling like you're in a bad place mentally, but the Knight of Cups is like you're pulling yourself out of that, Gemini. So coming into mid-February, you may start off in a little bit of a rocky or bumpy place, especially because at this time Mercury is in retrograde. Geminis are ruled by planet Mercury, so it may be a little bit of a stressful time for you, especially when Mercury does go retrograde, also depending on how your chart aligns with it. But Nine of Swords, Knight of Cups, you go from all this stress, all this anxious type of vibe, all the way into feeling a hell of a lot better. Knight of Cups is like, okay, I feel like the hurdle is done. I feel like all of the fog is cleared up. If you've had any sort of negativity clouding you, it's like you come out and you feel good and refreshed and positive. And I think that's because you're taking matters into your own hands. You also have here the Emperor card. The Emperor card is like the boss kind of figure, you know, the person that gets shit done. This is the person that is like, I'm in complete control. Whatever I need to fix, I will make sure I fix it. I'm going to stay on top of things. I'm going to stay on top of myself kind of energy. So Gemini, looking at your mid-February so far, I think some of you guys started off a little bit in a bumpy and rocky place, but you decided to take things into your own hands and say, you know what? It's time for an energy change. I'm not going to let myself be the Nine of Swords. I'm not going to let myself be stressed. I'm not going to let myself be in a bad place mentally. I'm going to put forth the effort to remove that situation and provide it with a more positive situation. So you're really shifting your energy here into something a lot more positive, which I'm very happy to see. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the Nine of Swords. Why don't we got the Nine of Swords jumping up for Gemini? What was it exactly that they were experiencing that might have been frustrating, stressful, or kind of put them in a bad mental place? We have here the Four of Pentacles, and we have here the Fool card. There could have been something that you had a difficulty letting go of, whether that be a person, whether that be an experience, a job, so on and so forth. I think there was a difficult situation here that you had a hard time letting go of, and maybe that's kind of what was clouding your mind, because keep in mind, the Nine of Swords is usually, in most tarot decks, it's usually portrayed as a person who's like kind of trapped inside their head. So maybe you were overthinking about something, maybe something was replaying in your mind all day and all night. But overall, Gemini, I just feel like there is a lot of difficulty letting go of a certain situation, and that's basically what's been taking up your mental space for quite some time. But jumping into mid-February here, it's about letting that go. It's about shifting your focus onto something better so that you can have a better energy. All right, let's have a look at what you're dealing with here coming into mid-February. What are my Geminis dealing with throughout mid-February 2022? Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Throughout mid-February 2022. What do we got? We got here the Chariot. We got here the Page of Pentacles, we got here the Six of Swords, and lastly, we have here the Four of Swords. So, based upon what you're dealing with, Chariot to the Page of Pentacles. Yeah, you're trying to put yourself in a different direction. I feel like your approach in general to your mental health is definitely being improved. For Geminis that have been struggling with mental health issues or that have had difficulties with your mental health, I do feel here like you're introducing new types of techniques in your life. Maybe you started journaling more, maybe you started meditating. Some of you here could have started going to yoga, or you might have become a yoga instructor. I don't know why that was what I was seeing, but there could be something there. You might have gotten a new job, maybe you got a job at a yoga place. Overall, the Gemini, Chariot here, Page of Pentacles, it's like I need to put my energy in a different direction, right? If I keep investing it into what is upsetting me, what's making me unhappy, what is stressing me out, right? I'm gonna get that in return, right? At the end of the day, where your attention goes is where energy flows. So if your focus is on everything negative, you're just flowing that energy back to you. So you're deciding to say, okay, let me put my attention on the good things in my life, the positive things. Let me take a different approach to how I do things or how I take care of myself or how I take care of situations. The more you take a positive approach and the more you shift your attention onto positive things, the more positivity you're attracting back into your life. So based upon what you're dealing with, it's going to essentially be that different approach, okay? Chariot, Page of Pentacles. Now you also got here the Six of Swords and the Four of Swords. You know, it's kind of a trade-off here. In order for you to move forward to better and higher vibrations, you have to be willing to let go of the more lower vibrational things in your life. So the Four of Swords is you kind of distancing yourself right now from whatever is infecting you, not infecting, by the way, affecting you, or bringing you to a lower place. For example, whatever you were holding on to, Gemini, Four of Pentacles, the Fool card. Maybe you had a bad memory that was constantly lingering. Maybe you were holding on to a relationship that was incredibly toxic, a friendship that was toxic. Maybe you were holding on to a job, whatever it was you were holding on to that was unhealthy for you. By removing that and then not having that a part of your life anymore is like your first step to moving towards calmer waters and more positive energies, because you're removing a stressor, you're removing something that's negative. So ultimately, I kind of feel like you're rebranding a bit, jumping into your mid-month here. Anything that is not in your favor, anything that is genuinely negative or just isn't very helpful to your mental health seems to be getting removed, because you want to improve your mental health on a very drastic and positive level, and I'm here for that. I'm totally here for that. You're taking matters into your own hands. You're like, I have a certain sense of responsibility to when it comes towards what I invite in my energy. And I like that, because when we kind of claim certain amount of responsibility of what's going on in our lives, that's when we can make the most change. You know, a lot of people sometimes will say, well, it's not my fault that X, Y, and Z happened, or X, Y, and Z treat me like this. But at the same time, it's not your fault that other people may treat you shittily or may do things that are not really in your highest of good. But you have an option on whether or not to keep that person in your life or to totally remove them because they don't deserve you. You know, I feel like sometimes people get trapped in this energy where they feel that somebody's not treating them fairly, and they're like, well, I can't do anything about it. Of course you can. Remove who does not serve in your life, you know, or any situation that doesn't serve in your life. So I think it's very important to always realize that we have that power of choice. The more that you advocate your power of choice, Gemini, the more you take your power back. You get to choose whatever energies you resonate with, you know. If somebody treats you like garbage, they don't need to be in your life, period. If you're at a job where you're being treated unfairly, you can get a different job, you know. So I see you taking these matters into your own hands here in regards to like drastically improving your mental health, and it really seems to be working for you. Let's go ahead and see where things are going, okay? Where are things going to be going for Gemini? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout mid-February 2022. Where are things going to be going for the Gemini here? And what do we got? We got here the Two of Cups, we got here the Five of Cups, we got here the Page of Cups, and we got here the Five of Pentacles. So, Two of Cups, Five of Cups, right? There are things here that still weigh heavy on you. There are things here that you still feel like you have lost, and you're going through this stage of grief. But at the end of the day too, with the Two of Cups jumping in with the Five of Cups, it feels to me like based upon where things are going, you're learning to accept the things you have lost and the things that haven't worked out the way you wanted them to in order to hope for a better future. It's about taking a positive approach, right? It's about saying, okay, some shitty things might have happened in my past, but that doesn't need to define today, right? Yesterday's not the same day as today, you know? So it's that energy of like, okay, I've had some bad things that have happened in my past, but I can't continuously think that just because something bad happened in my past, that it's gonna happen again in my future. I need to look forward to my future every day with a positive and fresh mind. I need to give myself a clean slate every day and realize that it can be a good day today, even if yesterday was a bad one. So it's about no longer setting an expectation for what your life is like or what it's going to be like or what your days are going to be like, because everybody's going to have a great day, a shitty day, an amazing day, a really rageful day. That happens on a daily basis. Nobody's going to have the greatest day every single day, but not for nothing. Just because yesterday was a bad day doesn't mean today has to be. And that's the major realization you're having. So with the Two of Cups here to the Five of Cups, it's about embracing the fact that, sure, I've been through some shit, but ultimately, that shit made me a lot more of a stronger person, and ultimately, I get to choose whether or not my day is going to be good or going to be bad, because once again, where my attention goes is where energy flows. So I have a choice here of what to invest my energy into. Now, we also have here the Page of Cups, and we have here the Five of Pentacles. Based upon where things are going as well, I feel like you're done investing your energy into lack. And what I mean by lack is the energy of not having enough, scarcity, right? For example, Gemini, let's say you've been a person before who has said, nah, I don't have enough money for that right now, I'm broke. Knowing damn well you had enough money in your bank account to purchase whatever it is that you wanted. Sometimes we got to be mindful of lack in our lives and how much we tend to claim that we are lacking certain things, because at the end of the day, most of the time it's not necessarily true. A lot of people are like, man, I just don't have the money right now. But it's not like money's scarce. Money's something that can be made. You can make money, right? By working a job, by creating businesses, by creating other revenues and sources of money. So we got to remember that certain things in our life are not scarce. They are not lack. There is an abundance of everything in this planet. For example, Gemini, if you feel like you've said before, nobody loves me. Gemini, there is an abundance of love on this planet. There are people out there who can love you. I don't have enough money. There's an abundance of money. You can always make more. It's that energy of saying, I need to remove myself from putting my life in lack and saying that I don't have enough when I very well likely can, So based upon where things are going for you, it's about looking at the bad times and recognizing just because the bad times happen doesn't mean today has to be a bad day. It's about looking forward to brighter days, so I'm happy to see that for you. And also based upon where things are going, you're trying to remove yourself from being in the lack mentality and being more in the mindset of abundance. You want to be in an abundant mindset moving forward. You don't want to keep telling yourself that you're not enough, because you are enough. I don't have enough. You can have enough. It's about opening up your perception, per se, to the fact that just because right now might be a negative situation doesn't mean that I can't flip it into a positive one. And that's what's so important, guys, about the power of choice. We have a choice of how we look at things, what kind of perspectives we want to take. So ultimately, if you're in a situation right now that's inherently negative, you can choose to say that that's how the situation is, that's how it's always going to be, or you can use your power of choice to turn it into something positive, So I really see my Geminis on that positive path, and I'm super happy for you. I really like this, guys. I see a major improvement in your mental health coming into mid-February. I see a major improvement of where your focus is going. It's about taking your focus off the negative and flipping it towards the positive. It's about making light of bad situations, because there's always light in the dark. Let's see what your spirit guides have to say, though. All right? Keep in mind, for this portion of the reading, Gemini, whatever your guides say may not resonate to what we were just talking about. It could be a completely random message, or it might apply to what we talked about, so just do keep that in mind. Are there any dire or important messages coming in here for Gemini throughout mid-February 2022? Are there any dire or important messages coming in here for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout mid-February 2022? Let's have a look, okay? We got here the Moon, we got here the Nine of Cups, we got here the Three of Pentacles, and we got here the Devil. So, let's see what your guides want to say. Moon card here to the Knight of Cups, or Nine of Cups, excuse me. This is a time, this is a month to take your emotions into account. Everybody is in charge of their own emotional state of being, their emotional wellness, and their wellness overall in their life. And your spirit guides are saying, I'm glad that you're seeing that, because nobody else can be your sole source of happiness. You are your sole source of happiness. Other people can add to your happiness, but you have to be the sole provider of happiness. You have to be the sole provider of stability. Everybody in their own life has to be their sole provider of their overall wellness. And your spirit guides here are saying, if you now recognize this, it's time for you guys to be as well as you can. It's time for you guys to invest into your wellness as much as you can during this time, because it's going to make a super positive impact on you and your life moving forward. We also got here the Three of Pentacles, and we got here the Devil. remember, Gemini, I think your guides are trying to say, like, even though you've been through some tough shit, it's nothing you can't overcome. Even though you have some things in your past, some skeletons in your closet, it's not like it's something you can't come back from, you know? Your guides here are really trying to say, you're in charge of your life, you're in charge of how you look at things, your perception is your reality. So ultimately, because you're that person in charge, you have to choose the perspective of how you want to carry yourself and how you want to look at situations and how you want to move in your life. Everybody has a choice. So what are you going to choose is really what it comes down to of what your guides are saying. Because you can choose to stick with the devil, to stick with every bad thing that's ever happened to you and look at your life in the perspective that it's horrible and that only bad things happen to you. But the truth be told is that there's been great things that have happened to you too. And if you open up your eyes to the good things that have happened, maybe you'll realize, there's actually a lot more there than I ever really realized. So I feel like your guides here are trying to open you up to that perception type of thing that I was talking about, because ultimately this statement is very true. Perception is your reality. You know, the way you perceive the world is how your reality is going to be. So if you perceive your life as a life that was full of struggle, if that means you're only focusing on the bad moments you've had and never any of the good, then your reality will be a struggled life reality. But if you really take a step back and you open up your mind to all the good times you've had, your perception of your life could be that, oh shit, my life is actually pretty great, you know? So really, really keep that in your mind, that whole statement right there. Your perception is your reality, because the way that you do look at things is the life you're inherently gonna live, all right? Let's go ahead and take a look at the overall outcome here, Gemini. What's going to be the overall outcome here for Gemini? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus during mid-February 2022. And what do we got? We got here the Four of Wands. I like that, man. I like that a lot. The Four of Wands is an energy of stability, okay? But it's also an energy of new beginnings. It's an energy of hope. It's an energy of reconnection. What you're reconnecting to right now, Gemini, is that part of yourself that can smile, that part of yourself that can breathe, that part of yourself that's happy, that part of yourself that's focused and not anxious. It's that side of yourself that feels well. You're really connecting with your overall wellness here and your mental health, and you really seem to be moving to such a positive place this month, guys. So I'm super happy to hear this for you. And because, you know, when you really look at Gemini as an astrological sign as well, Geminis tend to be probably one of the most anxious and anxiety-ridden type of signs, especially Gemini 12th house, okay? So at the end of the day, I totally understand that when it comes towards being a Gemini, mental health can be a struggle for many of you, but seeing you guys really choosing to work on it, simply just making an effort, is already a step in the right direction. So guys, continue working on this. Remember, attention goes where attention goes is where energy flows. Your perception's your reality. The way you look at life is how you're going to experience it. Just because yesterday was a bad day doesn't mean today has to be. You have the power of choice to essentially make your life whatever you want it to be. And as you're jumping into that realization this month, your wellness is improving, your mental health is improving, but overall, your wellness is improving. And keep in mind too, if you're good emotionally, that manifests physically too. If you're happy, if you're smiling, if you're drinking a lot of water, if you are being positive and saying positive affirmations and really removing yourself from negativity and detoxing from negativity, you'll notice physical manifestations such as your skin becomes clearer, your smile becomes brighter, your teeth become whiter. You'll notice so many changes in your physical appearance just being mentally and emotionally well. So Gemini, you'll probably notice that too coming into the mid-month here too. All right, Gemini. Thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry if the read was a little long. I feel like I kind of over talked a lot in this read. Sorry, y'all. So I'm gonna get out of here now. But Gemini, thank you for being here, man. If you're new, definitely consider subscribing. I really appreciate you all tuning in. Sorry again, guys, about the echo. I'm gonna do my best to get some furniture in this weekend to try to make my office a little more, you know, nice and tidied up. If you're interested, once again, in the Mercury Survival Candle or the Moving Forward Soap, first link in the description below. But with that all being said, have a lovely day, Gemini. Enjoy the rest of your month, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Much love, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.